So what Janie heard, she heard Lilly doing a little screaming thing, and she heard Jack doing something, saying something or something, and then she heard shh, shh, shh. And then her dog started barking. She woke up, she got up. She said she knew, she heard the kids, she knew the kids were supposed to be there. And she came up to Malaya, and Malaya was standing there with Meadow on her arm, looking at the phone. And Janie looked at Malaya and said, well, where's the kids? Because she knew the kids were there. She just heard the kids. Where's the kids? And Malaya sort of looked stunned. And then, she said they're in the woods.
Lilly and Jack were there one moment and gone the next. No struggle, no screams, no trace. Was this a tragic accident or a mother's chilling decision to rewrite her future? Today, we peel back the carefully constructed silence surrounding their disappearance and ask the question no one wants to answer. What if the truth was never in the woods but inside the house all along? This is more than a missing persons case. This is a story of secrets, silence, and a family unraveling under pressure. Before we begin, hit subscribe and drop a comment below if you believe every child deserves answers. It began quietly, almost forgettably. May 1 Street, Lily Sullivan, age 6, and her little brother Jack, just 4, were kept home from school. No explanation, no illness reported, just a quiet day inside. Then came May to end. The children were gone, vanished from their rural Nova Scotia property without a sound. Their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, called police that morning, and within hours, a massive ground search was underway. Helicopters circled overhead, sent tracking dogs swept through dense forest. Volunteers combed the brush, shouting their names. Posters with wide-eyed faces were taped to mailboxes and gas station doors. 2 missing children, 1 small town on edge. By May 7th, with no sign of Lilly or Jack, the official search was scaled back. Authorities offered a $150,000 reward for information leading to their return. The working theory? They'd wandered off into the wilderness. But even early on, something about that story didn't sit right. To understand what may have happened to Lilly and Jack, we have to look closer at the people around them that morning. At the center is their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, described by neighbors as quiet, withdrawn. Her partner, Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, was home that day too. He told police he'd woken up late, walked through the house, and discovered the children missing. No noise, no struggle, just gone. But that's where the timeline begins to unravel. Janie Mackenzie, the children's elderly step-great-grandmother, was also home. She recalls being on the phone with her brother. At exactly 8:48 a.m., she'd nodded off, then was jolted awake by her dog's frantic barking. Outside her trailer, she saw Malaya in the driveway, cradling the baby. No Lilly, no Jack. Janie swears she asked, "Where are the kids?" And Malaya replied, almost flatly, "They're in the woods." But here's the red flag. Why would Malaya direct Janie to the woods within minutes of the children going missing unless she already knew they weren't coming back? And what if they'd never been in the woods at all? Darren Geddes, a cousin-turned-online commentator, has since questioned the entire timeline. He believes the truth lies not in what the family said publicly but in the quiet contradictions behind closed doors. This isn't just a story of a disappearance. It's a puzzle with too many versions of the same morning. As the woods were searched, hour after hour, clues began to surface, but not in ways anyone expected. Inside the family's home, investigators found half of Lilly's pink blanket stuffed into the kitchen garbage bin across the road, nearly 300 feet from who said the other half of that same blanket was discovered, this time tangled in a low-hanging tree branch. Near it, a child-sized boot print pressed lightly into the soft dirt. That's when something didn't add up. In dispatch audio later released, a member of the family clearly states, "We don't think they crossed that road." And yet there was the evidence. Split blanket, single footprint. On the other side of a road they claimed the children never crossed. Still, authorities pressed forward with the original theory that Lilly and Jack had simply wandered off. Was this standard protocol, or a deliberate choice to avoid the harder question? What planted the clues? Weeks later, that question grew darker. A rental vehicle connected to Malaya was discovered abandoned, just miles from the New Brunswick border. Inside, a child's sock, a half-eaten granola bar, and strands of pink fibers later confirmed to be a DNA match for Lilly. That car didn't just change the search radius, it may have changed the entire nature of the case. Behind every disappearance is a reason, and sometimes that reason is fear. In the months before Lilly and Jack vanished, Child Protective Services had opened a file on the family. The reason? Unspecified developmental concerns. Daniel Might've, the children's stepfather, confirmed social workers had made visits, but Malaya, their mother, refused to comment. She offered no denial, no defense, only silence. That silence would soon echo louder than any statement. Did Malaya fear losing her children? And if so, could that fear have driven her to commit what some might call a protective abduction? Her actions in the days that followed were telling. She deactivated all of her social media accounts. She vacated the family home without notice, and she refused every media interview. No plea for help, no televised appeal, no public emotion. Neighbors were left wondering, didn't she beg for her children back? One volunteer said it best. She didn't plead for their return, she disappeared. And that disappearance, her silency may speak louder than any words ever could. A reaction that begs the question, did Janie already know something she wasn't ready to admit? And what about Daniel, the stepfather who allegedly slept through the morning chaos, then went on to publicly proclaim he'd search forever? Did he lie to protect the woman he loved? Or did he begin to suspect too late that the truth had been hidden from him all along? And Darren, is he a truth teller or an opportunist, inserting himself into tragedy to grab attention? Whatever the answer, one thing is clear. Someone in this family knows more than they've said, and someone may have helped make Lilly and Jack disappear. So where does that leave us? Are Lilly and Jack truly safe, as Darren insists? Or are we clinging to a hope that keeps us from facing a darker truth? Was the evidence the blanket, the boot print, the abandoned car planted, or simply misread? And if investigators suspect foul play, why hasn't this been escalated into a full criminal case? We stand at a crossroads. Do we believe a mother's silence hides unbearable heartbreak, or something far darker and far more deliberate? Now it's your turn to speak. Comment below, what do you believe happened to Lilly and Jack? Share this video to keep their names in the light, and smash that like button if you agree. This case deserves more than silence. It deserves answers.